Today on Tri-Crow Studios, we take a look at the LTD EC-257 from ESP Guitars. So looking at this guitar, we have a beautiful solid mahogany body that is finished in a black satin type color with this creamish goldish binding that's around it. That's a very nice touch. We have a three-way toggle switch for our pickups. Our pickups are ESP Designed LH-150s, neck and bridge pickup. We have a nice solid tunematic bridge, two independent volumes for your pickups, as well as one tone that has a coil tab on it. Moving on now to the neck, we have a nice satin finished three-piece mahogany neck with a roasted Jatoba fingerboard. They're 22 extra jumbo frets. It's 25.5-inch scale and 15.75-inch radius. The nut is a nice molded nut, and we have LT branded tuners. So now we're going to go through some sound samples of each of the pickup selections in distortion and clean, so you can hear the variations of sound you can get out of this guitar. So now I want to talk about the positives, the negatives, and the somewhat in between, depending on what you're looking for in this particular instrument. The first thing I want to note and stress is about these LTD branded tuners. Now, typically with some of the lower range guitars, especially where this is a 200 series LTD, which is the lower of all their models, first thing most people are going to do if they're into modding guitars or just want to make a better instrument is you're going to take the guitar home, tear all the hardware off, and replace it with Spurzl locking tuners, Grovers, Schallers, whatever you're typically into. I beat on this guitar for a good 6 hours, took it through hell and back, and not once did it slip out of tune. I went back and forth with my pitchback tuner just to make sure that my ears weren't deceiving me. Not once did this thing slip out of tune. So this bridge and those tuners aren't going anywhere. So really think twice if you're going to get this guitar and you really want to beef up some of the specs on this guitar. Give this bridge and these tuners a chance. They might surprise you for sure. Moving on now is this nice polyurethane satin finished 3-piece mahogany neck. It feels awesome. Absolutely awesome. I'm not feeling any of the frets here. Very comfortable to play. It really fits in my hand and it makes the guitar not feel like a 7-string guitar. I've played other 7-string guitars where the neck just felt way too beefy and I couldn't get my hand around it. I felt like there was a big restraint between me and playing the guitar. I didn't feel like that with this particular instrument. And I actually felt very comfortable playing this 7-string, which is obviously what you want in a guitar. You don't want to be fighting the guitar. This beautiful roasted Jatoba fingerboard. I've never owned or even seen a Jatoba fingerboard before until I picked up this guitar. And it looks beautiful, looks really nice, and I'm not feeling anything wrong with the playability of this fretboard. Moving on now to the negatives of this guitar. Now, one thing to note with this guitar, this toggle switch is very stiff. It might just be this one, but I've heard other complaints from some of the lower LTD lines that some of their switches can be extremely stiff, so watch out for that. The pickups can be a bit muddy for whatever you're looking for, especially when you get into the neck pickup range. So this might be something that you might want to swap out, but as far as I'm concerned, these pickups actually sound really good and will do the job for what I needed to do. Now, another major negative with this, but to be expected with a 200 series guitar, is the quality control of the finish on this guitar. Now, around the bonding, especially around the fretboard, there's a lot of chewed edges. There's a lot of finish blemishes, parts of the finish that weren't totally finished properly, as well as the binding trim that's around this guitar here. There's certain issues where it's just faded or it wasn't finished over properly. It's a bit hazy looking, but if you really don't care because you didn't spend as much as you would if you were by the 400 or 1000 series, this isn't going to affect the playability of the guitar, then this is a guitar for you. Moving on now to the positives / negatives of this guitar. Now, for me, I'm used to having heavier instruments like Explorers and Les Pauls and stuff that are quite heavy. I really like having an instrument that has a bit of weight to it. But if you do not like a big deal of weight in your guitars and you like some of the lighter stuff, this might be a bit too heavy for you. For me, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Love having that beef in the guitar, and I find it does affect the sound. It makes everything much more warmer when you have this much amount of wood in it. For another positive / negative in this guitar, this coil tap is an awesome feature, especially for when you feel like you're in the neck pickup range or in the middle range. If you feel it's getting a bit muddy, you can always pop that up and it kind of gives you a bit of brightness to your sound. and gets rid of some of that mud on the low end. So that's all I got for this guitar. Hope I've been able to help you distinguish if this is a guitar that's right for you or not. Until next time, I'm Kevin of Tri-Crow Studios. Take care.